We are here with Erin Andrews ahead of Super Bowl 59 to dive into her Wear by EA Super Bowl collection. And
Does it make you just so nervous when you're trying to do the intro and someone is just standing there staring at you? I just thought of myself doing it and I was like, that's so annoying.
No, it doesn't. No, you're so fine.
But yeah, I have to do this stuff with like Patrick Mahomes standing there
I
and
know.
Travis Kelce, and I'm like, I want to die. No, I'm kidding, not in a bad way. They're great. You just don't want to mess up, but you're so good.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. Okay, you look fabulous, and
A
you
lot
have
of hair and makeup.
you look great, but you have a Rebecca Minkoff collab with
Yeah.
Wear by EA. So
I do. Check
tell
it
me
out.
about it.
Super
Love
cute,
it.
right?
So
I was just
cute.
name dropping. I was just with my coworkers, Michael Strahan and Tom Brady, and Tom was like, "This is so soft," and I was like, "Well, thank you for noticing." It is. It's great. We love it. We were so excited to do a collab with her. Listen, as you know, girls like sports and girls like women like fashion.
Yes.
And when we had a great fashion designer like Rebecca reach out to us and say, "Hey, let's do a collab and let's do it for Super Bowl in New Orleans," we thought this would be the perfect place.
And you've covered a couple of Super Bowls,
Yeah.
but obviously being a broadcaster, a big part of it is preparation. What does your preparation look like for a game this big?
So it's really hard because normally leading up to a game, it is diehard studying. I'm not going out, I'm not doing anything. And it's hard when you're at Super Bowl because there's so many distractions. So I tried to get a lot of my prep done last week. We are going to team practices tomorrow. And on Thursday, I'm doing a sit down interview with Jalen Hurts tomorrow. So it's sprinkled in while the girls are putting my extensions in and my eyelashes on. I'm sitting there reading articles and trying to look what Patrick Mahomes said at Media Day yesterday. So it's a lot. Once you get here, there's a lot going on, but you have to remember the game is why we're here. So you have to make sure you study.
So it's Tom Brady's first Super Bowl in the booth. Obviously not his first Super Bowl, but what has it been like to have him as a teammate this year?
It's amazing. Tom's a good friend. He was a good friend before he came to Fox, and it's great. I think one of the coolest things about being with him is that he's the GOAT, right? Like, he knows everything that happens on the field, but this has been a big learning experience for him with our crew, and it's cool to see it through his eyes. And it's kind of crazy to sit there and we're in production meetings and he tells us stories and he tells it from his perspective. And, all of us try to help him and we'll say, you should say that on air. That's a really good thing to say. And he'll be like, thanks. And you're like, I'm helping the GOAT. Like, it's a cool pinch me moment,
Yeah. Well, speaking of the GOAT, there's a lot of conversation right now about Patrick Mahomes, if he's able to three-peat. And obviously you've covered Tom Brady for a really long time. You were there during the Belichick, Brady era. How would you kind of compare the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Brady, Belichick eras?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is best suited for Tom and Patrick to talk about.
Yeah.
I got to cover Tom in his Super Bowl and obviously with him. In terms of like comparing greatness, I think they're so different. I'm actually curious. Tom's going to sit down with Patrick this week, and I know that they're probably obviously going to talk about it. But I think that's what's so exciting about this Super Bowl. He's the face of our league, Patrick Mahomes. He's trying to do a three-peat. He's trying to add to this. It's just so exciting. There's no better guy to cover. He always is accessible to any of us, and he is just like, I heard someone say this about Saquon Barkley the other day, like, this is who you hope when you meet him. You hope that he will be the way he is, and that's the same thing with Patrick. He's such a good guy. So I'm happy for him and all his success. And by the way, he's an unfreaking believable player.
Oh, okay. And I feel like he also really comes through in high-pressure situations.
you
It's like
think?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What is it about him as a player that you think allows him to do that?
It's just never over. I mean, it just isn't. I feel like everybody always says the same thing. If there's time on the clock and he has the ball, it's like
crazy.
he's got to win
I
it.
know.
It's so awesome. I'm so grateful to be able to cover somebody like him. I felt this way with Brady and Rodgers, and it's just really, really a cool thing. He has just got it in him, whatever it is. He, turns into this superhero, and it's pretty damn cool to watch.
Okay, you mentioned Saquon Barkley. He's obviously had an incredible season, and I mean, how special would it be for him to win a Super Bowl after everything that he's been through?
Oh my gosh, we got to be there, at the NFC Championship in Philadelphia when he was there with his family and his kids and everything. And I actually sat down with him for an interview before that game, and he was just telling me, everything happens for a reason, and he believes the adversity he's gone through, led him to this moment. And it was hard not to get emotional. And it was also really cool to hear Saquon. He was asking us, so what happens at the trophy ceremony for the NFC Championship? And we're like, oh my gosh, Saquon, you've never been a part of this.
I know.
He is also one of the great guys in our sport, and I'm super grateful to have covered him and get to watch this story unfold.